Maria, your co-host. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of school facilities for effective learning. However, there are significant gaps. For instance, there are only 4 classrooms for all students in school. This means the school is unable to accommodate all the students comfortably, let alone expand its enrollment. Sports facilities are another challenge. While they have a small field on the 3rd floor and partnerships with nearby facilities like sports arenas, they lack their own football field and rely on borrowing from other schools or public facilities.
They stress that without adequate facilities, the learning process becomes less effective, directly impacting student learning outcome. The lack of facilities and infrastructure poses several challenges for the school, including a shortage of classroom that leads to overcrowding and hampers individual attention for students. Additionally, the absence of dedicated sports facilities limits opportunities for physical education and teamwork development.
This government regulation sets a clear framework for the minimum standards required in schools. But is there any proof that these 2 components have an impact on educational quality? To understand this, let's look at what research has to say about the impact of facilities and infrastructure on educational quality. But what happens when an educational institution fails to meet these standards or experience a lack of infrastructure? How does this affect teaching and learning activities, and what are the potential impacts on students' performance?
Given the era we are in now, is there a role for technology in external assistance? Seeing the learning aspect that still do not meet the standards of school facilities and infrastructure, are there any challenges that the school faces in the learning process?
Yes, based on the interviews we have done, there were some challenges that the school. There are 3 external supports that we will discuss, which are government assistance, local community, and technology integration. The first, government assistance. The government does provide assistance in terms of funding and resources. However, the process to get this assistance often takes a long time. In addition, the amount given sometimes does not match the actual need. Schools need a more effective way to request and receive the assistance they need.
Let me give a brief overview of the results of the observations and interviews we have done at the school. First, the school has 6 functional projectors and 10 laptops provided by the institutions. It also has speakers, both small and large, to support teaching activities. When it comes to books, both physical and digital resources are available to students. In conclusion, our observations are a powerful reminder of the challenges and potential that exist within our education system. While the schools we observe have significant infrastructure limitations, it was their creativity, collaboration, and commitment to fostering a positive culture that made the difference. However, for school to truly thrive, more positive support is needed. This includes more efficient governance process, increased community engagement, and greater investment in infrastructure. In addition, learning resources such as books and curriculum-aligned media, as well as a safe and comfortable school environment, are crucial elements to support an effective learning process. Education is not just about reading textbooks and sitting in classroom. It's about creating an environment that encourages growth, creativity, and critical thinking. Having good infrastructure and facilities is one way to create an educational environment that encourages students to grow, be creative, and think critically.
For example, if the school needs 5 volleyballs for sport lessons, the government only provides 3 balls. And second, local community and private partnerships. Collaboration with local organizations or private companies can be an effective way to bridge the gap. For example, companies can sponsor sports equipment or local businesses can help fund classroom renovations. This can be one of the solutions to address the need apart from government assistance.
This importance is further reinforced by research findings, including those from the journal Problematics of Infrastructure Facilities in Learning in Elementary Schools by Ali Lisnawati and her team. and the effect of facilities and infrastructure on student learning outcomes by R. Miski. Both studies emphasize that facilities and infrastructure are foundational elements for improving the quality of education. What do you mean by the amount given sometimes doesn't match the actual need?
To better understand this, let's first align our perception of these two words, facilities and infrastructure. According to TEXA, which is the agency responsible for regulating, monitoring, and assuring the quality of higher education in Australia, they said that facilities are all the places and resources that support the learning process, such as classrooms, laboratories, while infrastructure is much broader, encompassing all the systems and structures that make things run smoothly, from internet networks to other support services.
The essential components of education forum is the foundation for students' intellectual and creative development. In Indonesia, Ministry of Education Regulation number 22 of 2023 sets minimum standards for educational facilities and infrastructure. The criteria include classrooms with basic facilities such as tables, chairs, and blackboards, specialized spaces such as laboratories, libraries, and sport halls, and adequate sanitation facilities.
Of course, creativity alone isn't enough to ensure long-term success. Here's where the role of external support comes in.
Seeing the many aspects that still do not meet the standards of schools' facilities and infrastructure, are there any challenges that the school faces in the learning process?
Yes, based on the interviews we have done, there were some challenges that the teachers and students had to deal with. Interestingly, despite these challenges, the school has found creative ways to adapt. For instance, teachers use innovative methods to deliver lessons and maximize the limited resources they have. This shows how crucial teachers' creativity and resilience are in overcoming infrastructural limitations. However, there are significant gaps. For instance, there are only 4 classrooms for all students in school. This means the school is unable to accommodate all the students comfortably, let alone expand its enrollment. Sports facilities are another challenge. While they have a small field on the 3rd floor and partnerships with nearby facilities like sports arenas, they lack their own football field and rely on borrowing from other schools or public facilities. Also, they don't have labs or chemistry, physics. Interestingly, despite these challenges, the school has found creative ways to adapt. For instance, teachers use innovative methods to deliver lessons and maximize the limited resources they have. This shows how crucial teachers' creativity and resilience are in overcoming infrastructural limitations.
Interesting. It's clear they are putting in effort to support the students' learning. But is this enough to support the learning process or any other factors?
Of course. Well, I think that's all for today's episode. I hope our discussion can remind or perhaps open insights for all listeners regarding the importance of the role of infrastructure in education.
Thank you, Annabella, for today, and thank you for our listeners.
So,
Until next time, keep learning and keep growing!